Do you guys remember when Dr. Fauci went on television and he said that people disagreeing with him aren't disagreeing with him as a person, they are disagreeing with the science. And he was this arrogant towards this senator as well. He was basically constantly saying that he is the science. Well, apparently, yesterday in the United States, the science was put on trial. And the science refused to say anything, decided to keep quiet because the science didn't want to get arrested. I mean, that's fascinating, isn't it, right? So, like, trust the science, and the science all of a sudden became political. There were jokes that Dr. Fauci is a busy man because he has a nation to run. And the science was talking about shutting down businesses, lockdowns, censoring social media. Like, all of this was because of the scientific method, yes? And now that the people want answers, the science is too afraid to speak out. And so the BBC, which, by the way, was part of Project Fear, like they were one of the number one websites of the world that was pushing panic and terror regarding COVID, are now writing this interesting article, right? They're saying Fauci is on solid legal ground in face of prosecution threat. Who the fuck cares? Basically, what the BBC is saying, it's like, don't worry, he is safe. I don't give a shit about him. I genuinely don't care. I'm wondering, like, okay, what was lied to the people? Who is to blame? Who gets fired? And the most important question that it seems no mainstream media wants to ask, how can we make sure that this doesn't happen again? And I think, like, the reason the mainstream media doesn't want to ask is because they're asking a different question. How can we make sure that this keeps happening? Because what we had was a massive transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. Some people say it's the most massive transfer of wealth in human history. And the people making the policies, the people making the decisions, they hid like cowards behind experts and committees. And this is why today, not a single politician is held responsible, even after apparently what they were censoring was the truth. Like, everything that would have gotten you banned from social media back in the day, turns out that at the hearing now politicians agree with it. They agree that the masks may not have worked, that the social distancing wasn't actually science, it was just a policy. They agree that printing money was done in order to bail out the financial sector. And so, like, they ruined entire lives and economies. They did another Occupy Wall Street, but prevented the protests from happening. They terrorized the population with the television. And so you're telling me that, well, actually, don't worry about it. Dr. Fauci isn't going to get arrested. The hearing is safe for him. And it's like, that's not why I watched the hearing. I definitely don't care if an old man goes to prison or not. What I do care is the conversation about what was being lied. Like, all the people that trusted the science is at least, okay, fine, they're not going to go to jail. They're not going to lose their job. Is one of them at least sorry for the fact that I couldn't see my grandmother in hospital? Like, she had cancer, and I'm not the only one that lost relatives during that time. She had cancer. She went to the hospital. I couldn't actually go and visit her. I couldn't say my goodbye. There were police officers at the hospital. If I would have gone, I would have gotten arrested. I would have probably made grandma's remaining days even worse, finding out that I'm in jail. They terrorized the public with insane fines. In Romania, it was $2,000 a fine if you went out of your house and didn't have your papers with you. Even if you had, like, a reasonable clause to get out of your house, like, for example, you wanted to take out the trash or you wanted to buy some essentials. If you didn't have the paperwork with you, $2,000 fines. There was a person that killed himself. I'm not even kidding. In my country, they killed themselves. They got a $2,000 fine, and then they got another $2,000 fine, and they said, I can't pay any of this. And so they hanged themselves. It was in the papers. Who's responsible for that? Is a single person at least going to apologize? Are they going to say, you know what, I fucked up, I feel sorry? Why isn't the BBC talking about this, right? Like, the way they're framing this entire thing, which in my opinion is one of the worst things that happened in recent decades. And they're framing it as, well, will Fauci go to prison or not? Well, like him involving the fifth and choosing to stay quiet is actually solid legal ground. It's solid legal ground. Don't worry about it. They're not going to arrest him. I don't care, right? Like, talk about what happened. Talk about the fact that now the science has evolved and we know better than people did then. What about the accounts that got banned during that time? Are they going to be allowed to come back? The businesses that got shut down? I had 3 restaurants that I went to since I was a teenager. I really like those places. All of them got shut down during COVID. All of them ended up not being able to make money because the government shut them down. Who's responsible for this? Why did we import the Chinese shit? Like, literally, the CCP, the procedure for an authoritarian nation to lock down the population was copy-pasted in liberal societies. Why don't we talk about how much this normalized censorship? Why don't we talk about how much this normalized that the government can actually do whatever the fuck they want to the people? Because I think, like, this is what came out of COVID. The realization for the government that actually they can censor the internet. Actually, they can debank people. Actually, they can impose their ideology if they make people afraid enough. Actually, fascism does work, as long as you don't call it fascism and you call it safety. This is what the BBC should be talking about. Like, British people actually pay money to the BBC. Like, I understand that the UK now wants the BBC to be on YouTube, right? And you get it as an authoritative source. So that probably now you'll have to pay the BBC license only if you have YouTube. I'm actually surprised that no British person has caught on to this, right? Like, they're upset that it's going to affect the algorithm for creators. But, like, not one of them realized that if the BBC is on YouTube, then just by having YouTube, you still will have to pay the license. Whatever. It's grotesque. It's grotesque. And the fact that people aren't outraged about this shows that censorship works. Politicians treating their own citizens as subjects, as children, works. And you can do literally whatever you want as long as you can say safety. And the worst thing that happened, by the way, like literally the worst thing that happened during COVID was turning brother against brother. Like, at family dinners, I have seen families breaking up over the fact that one person disagreed with the television. Like, I have never seen so much hatred in my society as during COVID, when the television was genuinely fostering hatred and creating irrational people and bigots. And the left doesn't have a problem with this. They should now, though. They should now. There is absolutely no political cost in saying fuck Dr. Fauci. They don't want to do it. Apparently, Trump said that he's not going to revoke the pardon because Joe Biden signed it. Trump believes that it may not have been Joe Biden, but he can't prove it. And so he's going to leave it as it is. Whatever. Again, I generally don't care about Dr. Fauci. I think talking about people is a symptom of low IQ. Talking about principles and what will happen next is actually more important. And nobody wants to talk about that, which is sad. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, we'll see each other in the comment section. Take care.